What if there's a complete account of what existence is? Not a partial answer, not a framework that works until it doesn't, a full account. What a living being is, what reality is, where we came from, where we are going, and why things are the way they are. If it sounds too good to be true, that's the right reaction. This world picture is provided to us by Martinus. He had little education and worked with calculating numbers back in the days where we didn't have computers. Nothing showed that he was going to describe the fundamental principles of existence. But he got a spiritual initiation that enabled him to understand these fundamental principles. Martinus spent the rest of his life describing these principles in a way so we could not just understand them, but also check them with our own logic and experience. He's not just providing new dogmas that we have to believe. He's providing arguments. That is why he calls it a science. This is an introduction series in 3 parts: who Martinus was, his most central argument, and where we stand as living beings in the larger picture. If it holds up, it really changes how we see everything. I'm Lasse. Welcome to the Eternal World Picture channel. When Martinus was around 30 years old, a friend introduced him to a book about meditation and concentration exercises. He tried one of these exercises. He sat down, covered his head so it was completely dark, and focused on God. What happened next he called an spiritual initiation. Martinus described that he got both a mission and a kind of direct insight into what life is actually about. He tells us that he got what he calls cosmic consciousness, or a permanent access to intuition. In Martinus' understanding, there's a difference between intelligence and intuition. Intelligence is what we use every day: analysis, categories, logic, working things out step by step. Intuition is different. The answer arrives directly, without these steps in between. Think about artists that sometimes experience that a complete piece of music arrives to them. And scientists too. Occasionally they get an answer before they can prove it. Martinus got this, but permanently. So if he thought about a question, he would get the answer. His mission was specific to describe this world picture in a form that people could actually understand. Not just state it, but explain it. He said that he could easily have written things that were correct, but nobody could follow, and that was not the point with his work. So he spent the rest of his life working out how to bring what he had perceived into a form others could check against their own intelligence and experience. He died in 1981, and he was writing until the end. Martinus' main work is the Book of Life, or as he preferred we called it, Livets bog, which is the Danish title. It's 7 volumes, roughly 2,500 pages. He also produced 100 symbols, visual diagrams, to enable us to better understand this world picture. He also made a serious book called The Eternal World Picture, describing what those symbols illustrate, plus hundreds of articles and decades of lectures, all of it developing the same thing: a complete account of what existence is. This is not a new religion. Martinus established the Martinus Institute in Copenhagen. It's still there today, now run by a foundation, but there's no membership. He was very explicit about this. His reasoning was direct. We don't have a membership for 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's just how it is. And the same goes for his world picture. It's just how it is, so you cannot be within it or without it or inside it or outside it. This is knowledge, it's not a belief. That's the idea here. You can't join it and you cannot leave it. Late in his life, he called his work the Third Testament, which might be a bit controversial. He said it was a continuation of the mission of Jesus Christ. So that's a significant thing to say. His argument basically was Jesus, 2000 years ago, could not explain everything he understood. not because he withheld it, but because people weren't ready. The intelligence and experience wasn't there yet. What Jesus gave was simpler guidance, ethic, hints. Martinus refers to those hints quite a lot, and now he says we are ready. We go to school, university, our lives require us to think just to navigate our life. We have grown into the kind of beings who can receive a more complete explanation. He calls it a spiritual science, not religion and not materialistic science. A third thing, a world picture that gives the complete explanation what a living being is, what reality is made of, what the purpose of the whole process is, and where we are in it. Given in a form where there is a logical chain you can actually follow. You can check it with your own intelligence, bring in your own experience, and by doing that, he says, you can move from belief to actual knowledge. I've been with this material for 30 years. The thing I keep coming back to is how consistently it holds together. When you follow it into a new area, it doesn't crack, it extends. This is the first of 3 videos giving an overview of the eternal world picture. In the next one, we'll get into what is probably the most fundamental thing Martinus describes, the analysis of the living being. What you actually are at the most basic level. It's where he starts, and once you see it, a lot of the rest of the world picture fall into some kind of place. In the third video, we'll look at where humanity stands right now in a larger picture, and what that means for what we see around us. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you found it valuable, leave a comment below if you have a comment, question, or anything, and thanks for watching.